Imagine this. You lace up your favorite walking shoes on a bright morning. The air feels crisp. You've heard it for years. Just walk every day, and you'll stay healthy for life. So out you go, maybe through your neighborhood, maybe down your favorite trail, maybe circling your local park. But after your walk, you notice something. A dull ache in your knees, a tightness in your hips. Maybe you feel more tired than refreshed, or you wake up the next morning with stiff ankles and sore feet. You might think, well, this is just getting older. But what if it isn't? What if I told you, for those of us over 70, walking isn't always the simple solution it once was? In fact, too much walking, or the wrong kind, can quietly work against us. Now, I know this might sound surprising. We've been taught for decades that walking is the ultimate exercise for healthy aging. And in many ways, it is. But here's the truth that most doctors don't say clearly enough. After a certain age, it's not just about how much you move, it's about how you move, where you move, and what else you do alongside walking. Because here's the reality. The same daily walk that once made you feel energized in your 50s or 60s might now be stressing your joints, overloading your heart, and accelerating inflammation in your body. But don't worry, this isn't about giving up walking. It's about walking smarter, and about adding movements that your body now craves even more than miles. Today, on Vibrant Elders, we're going to gently uncover this truth together. I'll share with you 5 reasons why walking too much after 70 can actually age you faster, and 3 golden age movements that can restore balance, strength, and vitality to your body. And we'll do it all in a spirit of kindness, because your body deserves movement that heals, not harms. Before we begin, let me tell you about my dear friend Eleanor. Eleanor is 78. For years, she believed that her daily 5-mile walks were keeping her fit. And they were, for a while. But one winter, she started to notice things. Her knees ached more often. She had trouble getting up from chairs. Her energy wasn't what it used to be. Yet she kept pushing herself to walk more, because that's what she'd always done. Finally, after a gentle conversation with her physical therapist, Eleanor made some changes. She shortened her walks, chose softer surfaces like park trails instead of pavement, and, most importantly, added simple strength, balance, and flexibility exercises to her routine. Within months, Eleanor wasn't just walking better, she was moving better in every part of her life. Less pain, more energy, more confidence. And that's the message I want to share with you today. Walking can absolutely be part of a vibrant life after 70, but it's only one piece of the puzzle. As we move through this video, I invite you to listen gently to your body's wisdom, to reflect honestly on what feels good and what doesn't. And if you hear something today that resonates with you, consider this your permission to walk a little differently and live a lot better. Are you ready? Let's begin. Because this conversation could change not just how you move, but how you feel every day from here forward. Let's begin with the first concern, one that often starts quietly. With those subtle aches you might brush off after your daily walk. Joint wear and tear. Now, movement is absolutely good for us, but not all movement affects the body in the same way. Especially as we age. After 70, your joints become more vulnerable. The cartilage that cushions your knees, hips, and ankles naturally thins over time. That's just part of the aging process. But here's the catch. When you continue walking exactly as you did in your 50s and 60s, especially on hard surfaces like concrete sidewalks or asphalt streets, you may be putting more stress on those aging joints than they can safely handle. With every step on a hard surface, your joints absorb impact, and over thousands of steps per day, that repetitive force can start to create tiny areas of damage inside the joint. At first, it's subtle. Maybe your knees feel a little stiff after walking. Maybe your feet ache more than they used to. But over time, if you don't adjust your walking habits, this can lead to accelerated cartilage breakdown, more inflammation, and eventually bone rubbing against bone, causing arthritis, pain, and mobility loss. And here's the thing. This is preventable. Let me share a quick story about Walter, a 75-year-old from Minneapolis. Walter loved walking his golden retriever, Max. Every morning, he'd do a 3-mile loop around his neighborhood, mostly on sidewalks. But about a year ago, he started feeling deep aches in his knees after walks. His doctor explained that years of walking only on hard concrete had begun to take a toll on his cartilage. Instead of giving up walking, Walter made some simple changes. He shortened his concrete walks to just a mile or so. He shifted more of his walks to nearby parks with soft dirt and grass paths. On rainy days, he used the local community center's indoor walking track, designed with joint-friendly flooring. Within a few months, Walter's knee pain significantly improved. He still walks max every day, but now he's protecting his joints instead of wearing them down. And you can do the same. If your knees or feet ache after walks more than they used to, your body is sending you a message. Don't stop moving, but move differently. Here are a few simple tips. Limit long walks on pavement. Vary your walking surfaces, seek out grass, dirt trails, or cushioned indoor tracks. If you're near a beach, walking on sand provides natural joint-friendly resistance. Most importantly, listen to your body. If your joints are asking for a rest day, honor that. Remember, this isn't about doing less. It's about doing better, so you can keep moving comfortably for years to come. Now let's talk about the second concern, and this one surprises a lot of people who faithfully walked for years. Walking alone won't protect you from muscle loss. In fact, if it's your only form of exercise after 70, it may actually allow muscle loss to sneak up on you faster. Here's why. Walking is a wonderful activity. It keeps your heart healthy, supports circulation, and gets you moving. But it's also a repetitive, low-resistance motion. It mainly works your leg muscles, and even then, not at full strength. It does very little to challenge or maintain the muscles in your arms, your back, your core, or even certain parts of your legs. And after age 65, the natural process of sarcopenia begins. That's the gradual loss of muscle mass and strength. Research shows we lose about 1% to 2% of muscle mass every year unless we actively work to maintain it. And here's the problem. Muscle loss doesn't just make you weaker. It affects your balance, your ability to get up from chairs, your stamina, and even your metabolism. So if you're walking every day but still noticing that lifting groceries feels harder, that getting off the floor is more difficult, that rising from a chair requires more effort, your muscles may be quietly telling you, we need more than walking. Let me tell you about Susan, a 72-year-old retired librarian from Ohio. Susan loved walking in her neighborhood park every morning and was very consistent. But she noticed something odd. Despite her daily walks, she was losing strength in her arms and found it harder to get out of low chairs. Her doctor explained that while walking was great, it wasn't enough to maintain full body strength. So Susan added something new, simple resistance training, 2 to 3 times a week. She started with light bicep curls using soup cans, seated leg lifts, resistance band pulls to strengthen her shoulders and back. These weren't heavy workouts. They were gentle, safe, and doable right in her living room. Within a couple of months, Susan noticed big changes. She could carry groceries more easily. Getting up from the couch no longer felt like a challenge. Her balance even improved. And here's the key. You don't need to stop walking. You just need to balance it with exercises that build and maintain muscle. Here's a simple starting point. Add 2 short resistance sessions per week. Even 10 minutes is enough to start. Use resistance bands, light dumbbells, or even your own body weight. Focus on your arms, shoulders, thighs, and core. Because strong muscles are about so much more than looking fit. They're your foundation for independence, confidence, and quality of life. Now let's talk about a concern that many people don't see coming: chronic inflammation caused by overwalking. Now, this might sound strange. Haven't we been told that walking helps reduce inflammation? And yes, it absolutely can. Moderate walking, the right amount, done at a comfortable pace, helps lower inflammation and supports a healthy body. But here's the catch. After 70, your body needs more time to recover from physical stress. And if you're pushing yourself to take longer walks every single day, or walking too fast, too far, too often, you can tip the balance. Instead of helping your body, you may be triggering a low-grade stress response. Here's what happens. Prolonged repetitive motion without enough recovery time can raise your cortisol levels. That's your primary stress hormone. Elevated cortisol can in turn increase inflammatory markers in your blood. And chronic inflammation contributes to fatigue, memory challenges, joint pain, higher risk of heart problems, even faster aging of the skin and internal organs. It's a quiet process. You won't necessarily feel a sharp pain to warn you. But if you're noticing things like feeling unusually tired after walks, taking longer to recover from activity, waking up stiff and sore even on non-walking days, your body may be telling you, I need more balance between movement and rest. Let me share a story about Linda, a 74-year-old from North Carolina. Linda prided herself on staying active. She walked 5 miles a day, every day, rain or shine. At first, it made her feel great. But over time, she started noticing strange fatigue. Her legs felt heavy, her sleep got worse, her joints ached more. She thought she needed to walk more to work it out, but that only made it worse. Finally, her doctor explained that Linda's body was showing signs of chronic inflammation from doing too much without proper recovery. Here's what Linda changed. She shortened her walks to 20 to 30 minutes on most days. She added 1 or 2 full rest days each week. After walks, she did gentle stretching and prioritized good sleep. Within a few weeks, her fatigue lifted, her joints felt better, her sleep improved, and most importantly, she felt good walking again. Here's the takeaway. More walking isn't always better, especially after 70. What matters is finding your body's sweet spot, where movement supports healing instead of triggering more stress. Try this simple guideline. Walk for enjoyment and health, not numbers. Give yourself full recovery days after longer walks. Listen to your body. Rest when it asks you to. Because in this chapter of life, the goal isn't to push harder, it's to move smarter and kinder to yourself. Now let's talk about another important concern, the increased risk of falling when walking outdoors after 70. Falls are the #1 cause of injury-related hospitalizations for older adults in the US. And here's the hard truth. Many well-meaning seniors increase their fall risk simply by walking in environments that aren't as safe as they once were. Now, I'm not saying you should stop walking outdoors. Not at all. But it's time we acknowledge this reality openly, as we age. Even familiar walking routes can become unexpectedly hazardous. Think about it. Sidewalks crack and shift over time. Leaves, ice, or rain create slippery spots. Construction zones pop up without warning. Crowded sidewalks mean weaving around people and pets. Even a small uneven patch or a missed curb edge can send someone off balance in an instant. And after 70, our reaction times slow a bit. Our sense of balance may not be what it used to be. And vision changes can make it harder to spot those small hazards ahead of time. Let me tell you about Henry, a 77-year-old from Portland. Henry loved walking through his neighborhood every morning. But one chilly fall day, he tripped on a section of uneven sidewalk hidden by leaves. He landed hard, breaking his wrist. The fall shook him, not just physically, but emotionally. Henry told me later, I've walked that route for 20 years. I never thought about it being risky until it was too late. After he recovered, Henry took a wiser approach. He started walking in safer, controlled environments. The local shopping mall in the morning before stores opened. The community center's indoor track. Parks with well-maintained, wide walking paths. He also began walking with a friend. Having a buddy adds both safety and social connection. And he switched to wearing supportive shoes designed for stability, not just comfort or style. Now Henry still walks regularly, but with far less risk. So what can you do to stay safe while walking? Here are a few smart steps. Walk in environments that are even, well lit, and low traffic. Consider indoor options like malls or community centers. Especially in bad weather, use walking poles. These reduce fall risk and provide added support. Wear proper shoes with non-slip soles and good ankle support. If walking outside, avoid poorly maintained sidewalks and areas with lots of obstacles. And here's the key mindset shift. Prioritizing safety is not limiting, it's empowering. Taking simple precautions protects your precious independence, so you can keep moving with confidence for years to come. Because the goal isn't just to keep walking, it's to keep walking safely and joyfully. Now let's talk about the fifth concern, and it might be the most surprising of all. Relying only on walking can create movement imbalances that limit your independence over time. Let me explain. Walking is great. It keeps us moving, supports heart health, and helps maintain some leg strength. But if walking is the only form of exercise you do, your body can become very good at one thing, moving forward in a straight line, and not much else. That creates what I call the walking gap, a gap between the movements you practice and the movements life actually demands. Think about this. In everyday life, we need to twist to reach a shelf, balance while stepping off a curb, lift groceries into the car, get up from the floor, carry a laundry basket, sit and stand with ease. Walking alone does not train these skills. In fact, it can allow other essential muscles, especially in the core, back, arms, and stabilizers, to weaken quietly. And here's the danger: over time, this imbalance can lead to more falls, more fatigue, and more difficulty performing daily tasks that truly matter. Let me share a story about Carol, a 76-year-old from Florida. Carol was a dedicated walker. Every morning she'd walk 2 miles around her neighborhood. She thought she was doing everything right. But gradually, she noticed some troubling changes. Rising from low chairs felt harder. Carrying groceries left her winded. Reaching overhead became difficult. She couldn't understand why. After all, she walked every day. When Carol saw a physical therapist, she learned the truth. Her body had become very efficient at walking, but undertrained in nearly everything else. To fix this, Carol added variety to her movement routine. Light strength training with resistance bands, simple balance exercises, seated core work, flexibility and posture drills. It didn't take long. Within a few months, she felt more capable and confident, not just while walking, but in all aspects of her daily life. And that's the key point I want you to take away. Walking is valuable, but it must be part of a broader movement plan after 70. Here's a simple mindset shift. Instead of thinking, "Did I get my steps today?" ask, "Did I challenge my body in multiple ways today?" Include strength for lifting, balance for stability, core control for posture, flexibility for mobility. By doing this, you build a body that can meet life's demands, not just walk in a straight line. Because after 70, the goal isn't just movement, it's balanced, functional movement that supports your independence and joy. Now that we've talked about why walking alone isn't enough after 70, let's shift gears and explore what your body really craves to stay strong, balanced, and independent. And the first golden movement is one of the most powerful: seated strength training. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Strength training? Isn't that for younger folks or gym goers? Not at all. In fact, after 70, strength training is one of the best things you can do for your health. And here's the beautiful part. You can start right from a chair in the comfort of your own home. Why is this so important? Because as we've discussed, after age 65, we naturally lose 1% to 2% of muscle mass each year if we don't actively work to maintain it. And muscle isn't just about looking toned. Strong muscles help you rise from chairs easily, climb stairs confidently, carry groceries without strain, maintain balance and prevent falls, keep your metabolism healthy. In short, muscle keeps you independent. Let me share a story about Edna, an 80-year-old from Seattle. Edna had always loved her daily walks. But a few years ago, she found it harder to lift her laundry basket. She needed more effort to rise from her favorite recliner. Her doctor recommended adding seated strength exercises to her routine. At first, Edna was skeptical. She wasn't a gym person. But her therapist showed her simple moves she could do while seated. Arm curls with light weights. She started with soup cans. Leg lifts to strengthen her thighs. Shoulder presses to build upper body strength. Seated marches to wake up her core and hip muscles. Edna started with just 10 minutes, 2 to 3 times a week. And guess what? Within a couple of months, she noticed real changes. Lifting laundry felt easier. Standing up from chairs required less effort. She felt steadier on her feet during walks. Now Edna says, "I wish I'd started this sooner. It makes everything I do feel easier." And you can experience that too. Here's how to begin. Choose a sturdy chair without wheels. Start with light resistance, soup cans, water bottles, or resistance bands. Focus on slow, controlled movements, not speed. Aim for 2 to 3 sessions a week. just 10 to 15 minutes each. Most importantly, listen to your body and progress at your own pace. Seated strength training is safe, effective, and accessible to everyone, and it provides the foundation your body needs to thrive after 70. Because when your muscles are strong, life feels lighter, and so do you. Now let's explore the second golden movement your body truly craves after 70, one that nourishes both body and mind. Tai Chi and balance exercises. If you've never tried Tai Chi, let me paint a picture. Imagine a group of older adults moving gracefully in a park, arms flowing, feet gliding slowly, eyes focused and calm. It looks almost like a slow dance. But beneath the gentle appearance, Tai Chi is one of the most effective ways to build balance, strength, and inner peace, especially as we age. Here's why it matters so much after 70. Balance is everything. It helps prevent falls, which are the #1 cause of injury-related hospital visits for older adults in the US. It keeps you steady on stairs, while carrying groceries, or stepping off curbs, and balance declines naturally with age, unless we actively train it. That's where Tai Chi comes in. Tai Chi is a gentle practice that involves slow, mindful movements in all directions. It strengthens the small stabilizing muscles that walking alone can neglect. It also improves posture, flexibility, body awareness, mental calm, and unlike walking, Tai Chi challenges your body to move in new ways, sideways, backward, shifting weight smoothly and safely. Let me share a story about Martin, a 79-year-old from California. Martin used to walk every morning, but after a couple of near falls on uneven sidewalks, he grew anxious. At his daughter's encouragement, he joined a local Tai Chi for seniors class. At first, Martin felt awkward. The movements were unfamiliar, but he stuck with it, attending twice a week. After 2 months, he noticed profound changes. He could step off curbs without hesitation. He moved more gracefully and confidently. His fear of falling diminished, and his enjoyment of life increased. Martin told me, "Tai Chi gave me back trust in my body." And you can experience that too. You don't have to find a class right away. Many wonderful beginner videos are available on YouTube for free. Or you can start even simpler. Try these basic balance drills at home. Stand on one foot near a counter for support. Heel to toe walk slowly along a hallway. Shift weight side to side in a slow, controlled motion. Aim for 5 to 10 minutes a few times per week. Remember, balance is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. And practices like Tai Chi offer the added gift of calming your mind and reducing stress, another powerful benefit for healthy aging. So why not give it a try? You might be amazed at how it transforms the way you move through life. Now let's explore the third golden movement your body craves after 70, one that many people overlook: reclined core and pelvic exercises. When you think of core strength, you might picture young folks doing sit-ups at the gym. But that's not what I'm talking about here. After 70, your core, the muscles in your abdomen, lower back, and pelvis, becomes more important than ever. Why? Because your core is your foundation. It supports your spine, helps you maintain good posture, allows you to balance, and even improves your ability to breathe deeply. Weak core muscles are linked to back pain, poor balance, difficulty standing up from chairs, increased risk of falls. And here's the thing: walking alone won't maintain your core strength. That's why adding gentle, reclined core and pelvic exercises is so valuable. Let me share a story about Barbara, a 76-year-old from Texas. Barbara stayed active. She walked regularly and did light gardening. But she began experiencing frequent backaches and noticed she was hunching over more. Her physical therapist explained that her deep core and pelvic muscles had weakened, a very common pattern after 70. Barbara began practicing simple exercises while lying on her bed or on a mat. Pelvic tilts, gently rocking the pelvis to engage deep abdominal muscles. Bridges, lifting the hips off the bed to strengthen the glutes and lower back. Knee to chest pulls, to stretch the lower back and activate the core. She started with just 5 minutes a day. And the results? Less back pain, improved posture, easier time standing up from chairs, more confidence while walking. Barbara now says, I never realized how much core strength affects everything I do. And she's absolutely right. The good news is, you can start this kind of movement very gently, in a completely safe way. Here's how to begin. Lie on your bed or a comfortable mat. Start with pelvic tilts. Flatten your lower back into the surface. Then release gently. Progress to bridges. Lift your hips slowly and with control. Add knee to chest holds to keep the back flexible. Do just 5 to 10 repetitions of each exercise, quality over quantity. These movements don't look flashy, but they target the deep muscles that support everything else you do. Remember, your core is your center of strength and stability. By nurturing it, you'll feel more confident, more balanced, and better able to enjoy all the activities that bring you joy. And here's the bonus. Many people find that practicing these gentle movements improves their sleep and reduces morning stiffness. 2. So why not give it a try? Your body will thank you, both today and in the years to come. Now, my friend, before we say goodbye for today, let's take a quiet moment together. We've explored some surprising truths about walking after 70, and we've talked about movements your body truly craves to stay vibrant and independent. But here's the most important thing I hope you take away from our time together. This isn't about giving up walking. It's about giving yourself permission to move smarter, with more wisdom and care. You see, your body at this stage of life is asking for a different kind of attention. Not the push harder approach we're so used to hearing. Not the old ideas about how much you need to do to stay in shape. It's asking for movement that builds strength without strain, movement that improves balance, posture, and confidence, movement that restores energy instead of depleting it. And that shift begins when we listen. I want to share one more story with you, this one about my dear neighbor, Louise. Louise is 81. For years, she took great pride in her daily 5-mile walks around our neighborhood. Everyone knew Louise, the tiny woman with the big sun hat, moving quickly past us all. But a few winters ago, something changed. Louise began experiencing hip pain that lingered long after her walks. She noticed her back was stiff in the mornings. And one day, stepping off a curb, she lost her balance. Thankfully, she caught herself in time. That moment scared her. At first, Louise was frustrated. She told me, "I've done everything right. Why is this happening?" And I gently explained what I've shared with you today. Her body wasn't failing her, it was giving her messages. It was ready for a new chapter in how she moved. With a little encouragement, Louise made some beautiful changes. She reduced her walks slightly and chose softer paths. She added seated strength work to her mornings. She began practicing Tai Chi at a local senior center. And at night, she started doing reclined core work before bed. 6 months later, Louise's words to me were simple. "I feel like myself again." That's the gift I wish for each of you. Because vibrant aging isn't about keeping up with your old pace. It's about finding new rhythms that honor who you are now. It's about tuning into your body's wisdom, saying yes to what feels nourishing, saying no to what feels depleting, and understanding that movement is a relationship, not a race. So today, I invite you to reflect. Which part of this conversation spoke to you the most? Was it understanding how walking on hard surfaces can quietly wear down joints? Realizing that walking alone won't maintain your muscle strength? Learning that smarter movement can reduce inflammation and improve your energy? Or perhaps discovering new ways to nurture your core and balance? Wherever your heart lands today, know this: small, consistent changes will serve you far more than big, unsustainable efforts. Maybe tomorrow you'll add 5 minutes of seated strength training. Maybe you'll explore a Tai Chi video on YouTube. Maybe you'll shift your walking route to softer, safer ground, or maybe you'll simply rest when your body asks you to. Every choice like this is an act of self-respect, an act of honoring the amazing body that has carried you through decades of life. And as you practice this kind of movement, you may find a beautiful surprise. Your days feel lighter, your steps more confident, your heart more open to joy. That is what I wish for you, not just more years in your life, but more life in your years. Before we close, I would love to hear from you. Please leave a comment below and share. What is one thing you learned today that you plan to bring into your life? Your voice matters here in our vibrant elders community, and your story may inspire someone else to take their first small step. And if this conversation helped you in any way, if it made you pause, reflect, or feel encouraged, I invite you to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with someone you care about. Together, we're building a space where aging is celebrated, not feared, where wisdom grows deeper each year, where we support one another in living fully, freely, and vibrantly, at every age. Thank you, my friend, for spending this time with me. May your next walk, your next movement, your next breath be guided by the kindness and wisdom your body so deeply deserves. Until we meet again, move well, live well, and stay vibrant. I'll see you in the next video.